We were talking a bit earlier about we were talking when we were doing the whole backlash talk and talking about backlash. We mentioned Rusev, and I told you I wanted to come back to Rusev a bit later on. This is quite a bit later on. But Rusev's kind of in a weird spot right now. Because he was supposed to appear on Smackdown last week. He didn't. I thought Rusev was going to appear at Backlash because I thought, Randy Orton's going to retain. If Randy Orton retains clean, Rusev's going to probably do something, come out attack, and set up for them at Money in the Bank. But that's not the case. Jinder won. So I'm wondering, does that mean is Rusev going to get a title match against Jinder, or is he going to be in the Money in the... It's one of the options. Either he's getting the world title shot, or he's going in the Money in the Bank match. And I don't know what their plan is, because if Randy Orton ends up facing him at Money in the Bank, I don't think they're going to make it a triple threat. I don't. No, they're not going to make it a triple threat. So it's either... But then, of course, there's Randy Orton. If Randy Orton doesn't get the title shot, does that mean Randy Orton's in the Money in the Bank? Or does Randy Orton move on to something else? My guess is that who's ever not in the championship match goes in Money in the Bank. That's how I'm looking at it right now.
Or they're going to do what they usually do and give someone a title shot on SmackDown.
Yeah. Or Rusev. In which case, the person who gets the title shot on SmackDown is going to probably be in the Money in the Bank.
Probably.
But presents an interesting choice, especially... They're really trying to make Rusev seem like he's a big deal. They're really trying to portray Rusev as a big deal. He shows up, he comes in, he's like, I'm not going to show up until I get my title shot. It makes him look like he's important. It makes him look like he's a thing. And granted, Rusev is a guy who definitely looks like a champion. He has the big physique. He has the Muay Thai belt. He has the look. He has the talk. Especially if you bring in Lana as his valet. I don't know what they're doing with Lana. If she's going to be a full wrestler or a manager or both or whatever they're doing.
I don't know, because they're kind of making her look like she's a
wrestler now. Which makes you wonder, is she going to keep managing Rusev or is she just full wrestler? I don't know.
We've seen that Lana's so athletic and flexible and all that.
She's a former dancer, so...
Exactly. That she can have a good move list, somewhat.
I don't know. I've never seen her wrestle. So.
You have to think also that Rusev's probably taught her a couple of his moves, right? That she could actually probably do.
I don't know. I've never seen Lana wrestle. I don't judge people before I watch them.
Like, we know Lana can do the accolades since we saw that whole thing with Rusev, Ziggler, Lana, and Summer. But...
Or as I like to call it, the rivalry I try to bleach from my mind every day of my existence. But I don't like to judge people before I see them, so I'm not going to judge Lana. I give people fair shots when I see someone new. If I see someone new, I give them a shot. I usually give them a shot or two. I don't judge them. I usually watch a match or two of theirs, maybe free, and I see, is it good? Yes, then they're good. If it's not, eh. But when it comes to Rusev, I don't know what their plan's going to be for him, because if he ends up facing Mahal at Money in the Bank for the title, it makes you wonder, is Rusev going to win, or is Mahal going to win? If that's the case, I do have reason to believe that Mahal would retain. I have a very good reason to believe that Mahal would retain, which kind of sucks for Rusev. But then, the more interesting possibility is Rusev in the Money in the Bank. Which is funny because he kind of adds another dynamic, because a lot of people, including myself, believe that Baron Corbin's kind of the shoo-in right now to win Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
He's kind of the shoo-in. If not him, there's a chance of Sami Zayn maybe winning it, maybe, but Baron Corbin's the definite number one. If Rusev's in that match, it creates an interesting possibility where Rusev may actually be the one to walk out with Money in the Bank, and if Rusev does walk out with Money in the Bank, that is definitely an interesting case scenario.
Yeah.
Because Rusev walking out with Money in the Bank, and of course I'm not going to Rusev Rusev's U.S. title reigns have been pretty good. Pretty good. His second reign was definitely the weaker of the two reigns. But I think he could be a credible. I think he could hold his own with the world belt.
I've always been a fan of.
Rusev has the look. He has the look.
Not even the look. It's what he can do in that.
He has the look and he has the ring ability. Especially if you pair him with Lana and you have Lana with his working as his.
Every time I watch Rusev wrestle, all I can think about is like, this is what Vince McMahon wanted years ago when he wanted ruthless aggression and he got John Cena. Rusev would have been perfect if he had been there at that time instead of John Cena.
He's kind of short, but he makes up for it in his bigger size. But it does create the interesting thing where I think that I really think that they want to push Rusev. I do. I believe that they want to make Rusev one of their bigger heels.
Yeah.
Him and Corbin look shooting to be the next faces of the Smackdown heel. Along with Owens. Those are your top 3 new heels. But it also creates a situation where now Rusev's kind of stuck in that limbo right now. I'm sure SmackDown's going to probably explain what Rusev's going to do. But he's kind of in that limbo where he either gets the title shot at Money in the Bank, probably loses, or he gets the Money in the Bank spot, which of course I'm not saying that he's going to win Money in the Bank. I'm not saying if Rusev's in the Money in the Bank match he's going to win. Because you still have Corbin. And you still have Zayn. And Zayn, while it does look like it would if Rusev isn't in the Money in the Bank match, I'm almost guaranteeing it's going to be Corbin. Rusev does have a good chance if he ends up in the Money in the Bank match that he wins. He has a pretty damn good chance, actually. Him or Corbin. And of course, either one of them winning the Money in the Bank is interesting. If I had to say what's the better business choice, I'd probably say morely on the Rusev side because he is more established. No offense to Corbin, but Rusev is a former 2-time U.S. champion. He's been here for a couple years. And of course, Corbin has time on his side. Corbin's, I think, 31 years old, or 32. So he still has a couple good years left in him to win a world title. But of course,
I would pay to see Rusev against Corbin any day.
Two big guys, not any of these indie flippy midgets. Dive. Somewhere in the universe, Will Ospreay is glaring at me. But I think that it all depends on what because you're trading one foreign heel for another foreign heel with Rusev and Jinder. That's kind of the sad thing is that you are trading that foreign heel for a foreign heel. With Corbin, it's more really that he's that big guy who don't care. Corbin has that thing where no matter what, even if he does not, either way, if either one of them doesn't walk out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, even if Zayn walks out the Money in the Bank briefcase, and neither of them, they still have.
Yeah, because
they're still
Zayn
shooting.
Has so much experience.
They're shooting. Corbin and Rusev are shooting to be a major part of SmackDown. They're shooting, no matter what they win. If they win Money in the Bank, whether Rusev were to win.
And if Sami Zayn wins the Money in the Bank,
I would be partially shocked.
It'd be the perfect way to make Sami like the top face along with AJ and John Cena,
and you also remember there's Nakamura there now he has to compete with.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if anything Zayn's winning any title, it'd probably be the US title, but for the most part he still has the chance at Money in the Bank. Rusev has the chance at Money in the Bank. If I were personally booking Rusev in this case scenario, I'd probably end up throwing him in the Money in the Bank match. And I'd probably end up having him win and seeing where it goes and just waiting for the time for Rusev to take the title. if that's the case, I don't think he should face Randy Orton. Right now, I don't think he should face Jinder for the world title at Money in the Bank, because then I think it guarantees that he's losing, and then that kind of pushes him back a bit. At the same time, even if he goes to Money in the Bank, even if he loses, Rusev right now they're basically building Rusev to basically be a big part of SmackDown. He's going to be a big part of SmackDown no matter what. No matter what way you look at it, he's going to be right up there with Owens. He has this that he's held the U.S. titles. He's been here for a couple years now. I think 3 or 4 years now. He's been here, and they're making him seem like a big deal. Like they're trying to treat him like he's a big deal, like he's some sort of prize fighter, which is kind of funny because Kevin Owens in NXT kept talking about how he was a prize fighter, and here's Rusev trying to upstage his game. But, no matter what, Rusev's a shoo-in to be big on SmackDown. I'd definitely look to putting him in the Money in the Bank match. I'm not saying have him win. It's kind of tied for me on him and Corbin. But if I had to lean towards one or the other, I lean more towards Rusev at this moment. Right now. He doesn't have to cash in right away. No. He doesn't. Rusev doesn't have to cash in at SummerSlam. He doesn't have to cash in here or there. He
could wait till Money in the Bank of next year.
He has a full year to do it. You don't have to kick in. You're not pulling the trigger. And of course, again, you have to remember there is, of course, the brand extension. But you don't have to trade Rusev to Raw next year. And that's, of course, getting way ahead of the schedule. That's talking about next year's brand draft, shake-up, whatever the hell they're going to call it. That's looking way too far in the future. But he has a year. Keep the briefcase on him. You want him to still be that big deal. He'll still be important with the briefcase, and you can do with Corbin what you want. You can give Corbin the title if you feel like it, whenever you feel like it too. But that's basically all I have to really say about Rusev. I mean, in defense, Rusev isn't the only guy who's probably going to end up being the next big guy when he comes in. I mean, you have the New Day.